21. The Sacred Grove and the Choices that Bind. The moment Duke Azoth departed, Elowyn's mind reeled under the weight of the bargain she had struck. Dark magic swirled around her like a coiling serpent, yet within its grasp came something else, a flood of knowledge surging into her very soul. The truth she had sought, the answers to the exiled seer's whereabouts, were no longer a mystery. The location was clear, vivid, as though it had always been within her, the Sacred Grove. A sanctuary untouched by the world's corruption, the Sacred Grove was home to the devoted followers of the goddess of nature. No creature, no matter how small, could be harmed there. Stories of its existence had reached Elowyn before, but never had she imagined setting foot in such a place. That Salem Vane, the exiled seer, resided there seemed almost surreal, like a dream given form. She stood at the great windows of her chamber, gazing into the moonlit night as the weight of her next choice settled upon her. The journey to the Sacred Grove would be long and perilous, its path winding through dense forests and treacherous lands few dared to cross. But abandoning the kingdom now, with the king's health waning and her alliance with Alastair precarious, filled her with unease. If the king died while she was away, the consequences would be dire. Her position in the kingdom would be thrown into uncertainty, and worse yet, Alastair, her closest friend, might see her absence as a betrayal. She would risk everything, her people, her allies, the very kingdom she had sworn to protect. Yet Salem Vane held answers she could not ignore. The truth of her fate, the meaning behind her dreams, the darkness looming over her land, it all led back to him. But how could she balance duty and destiny? She took a slow, measured breath and made her choice. She would go, but not without preparation. Disappearing without explanation would be reckless. She needed to speak with Alastair, her cousin, her confidant, the one person who might understand. For a week, she sent Celine daily, determined to arrange a meeting. She had to explain herself before she left, fearing that without his support, her decision might shatter the fragile bond that tied her to the kingdom. Trust, so painstakingly built, could crumble in an instant if her actions were misunderstood. But time was against her. Each passing day brought her closer to the moment when she would have to choose, stay and let the shadows haunt her, or leave and face the unknown. Restlessness plagued her. She spent her days among her arcane order, refining her magic, poring over her father's journals, consulting the ancient tomes of the arcane library, anything to prepare for what lay ahead. But no matter how much she studied, her thoughts drifted back to Alastair, to the king's worsening condition, and to the haunting dream of a crown of darkness upon her brow. Would she be strong enough to bear the choice before her? On the 7th day, a letter arrived. Elowyn broke the seal with trembling fingers. Celine's message was brief, yet the weight it carried was undeniable. Your Highness, Lord Alastair will meet with you at dusk in the garden. He has agreed to speak with you. He seems troubled, but not unwilling. Be cautious and be truthful. He may not take kindly to your absence. Elowyn folded the letter, her heartbeat quickening. Dusk, the hour before the sun dipped below the horizon, a fitting time for a conversation that could change everything. As the sun cast its golden light across the kingdom, she made her way to the garden, her mind a storm of doubts and resolve. She would tell Alastair everything about the seer, the bargain she had made, and the journey she must take. No more hiding, no more secrets. She found him by the fountain, his posture tense as he looked out over the landscape. He had always carried the burdens of the kingdom with a quiet strength, but tonight he looked weary. The shadows beneath his eyes spoke of sleepless nights and worry, and it twisted something deep within her to know she was about to add more weight to his already heavy shoulders. Elowyn, he said, turning to face her. His voice was steady, but there was something unreadable in his expression. For a moment, neither spoke. The silence stretched between them, thick with unspoken words. Then, at last, Alastair broke it. I've been waiting for you. I know. Her voice was softer than she intended as she stepped forward. I've been meaning to speak with you for some time now. There's much I need to explain. She told him everything. Her dreams, her visions, the bargain she had struck with Duke Azoth. She spoke of the Sacred Grove, the journey ahead, and the need to find Salem Vane. When she finished, Alastair remained silent, his gaze locked onto hers. as though weighing every word she had spoken. His brow furrowed, his expression unreadable. "You know how dangerous this is," he finally said, his voice low. "Not just the journey, but what it could mean for you, for us. If you leave and something happens to my father, if you're not here when he dies, we'll lose everything we've fought for." A lump rose in Elowen's throat. "I know," she whispered, "but I can't stay. Not without knowing the truth. I've made a promise. To myself, to the kingdom. The only way I can protect everyone, including you, is to uncover the truth." She hesitated, then added, "I need you to understand." For the longest time, Alistair said nothing. Then, with a slow nod, he spoke. "I understand, Elowen, and I can't stop you." He exhaled, the tension in his shoulders barely easing. "But I will be here, waiting, and I will support you no matter the cost. Just be certain of what you're stepping into." Gratitude swelled within her, though the weight of her decision still pressed against her chest. She had made her choice, but it was not without sacrifice. "Thank you, Alistair," she said, her voice steady despite the storm within her. The moonlight bathed the garden in silver as night fully descended. Elowen stood at the precipice of change, knowing that one step forward would alter everything.